Today I am taking a non-Warhammer miniature and making it Warhammer-fied. Cobra Mode, which is the sponsor of this video, asked me to paint one of their miniatures. And when I saw this Earth Dragon miniature, I knew that I have to paint it. And you know, there are a bunch of dope minis online, but they are not Warhammer related, like at all. So let me show you how you can transform them so you can include them in your Warhammer collection anyway. Okay, but how can you and I even approach this? Well, there are 3 things that you can do to make any miniature feel more Warhammer-fied. And the first one is I decided to corrupt this dragon and seduce it to the ways of chaos. So which chaos god will it be? Not Khorne, because the dragon is too elegant for that. Even though it is an elegant serpent, I have some different plans for Slaanesh. So that leaves us with Tzeentch or Nurgle. And because there is this lovely pot for which I have an idea, and I have a load of Nurgle bits. Yeah, it's mostly because of the Nurgle bits. Nurgle it is! Now, unfortunately, I'll have to clean up all the mold lines, which is the most tedious part of this hobby. Obviously, the dragon itself doesn't have any mold lines, because it's 3D printed. Oh, okay, we are done converting, I guess. Well, no, actually. Do you see how all the different parts don't fit the dragon? Like, obviously you can see that this doesn't belong here. So we are gonna fill the gaps with Milliput. And Milliput is great. Whenever you need to fix anything, fill the gaps, or even sculpt something, this stuff comes in handy. Hell, I even used plenty of Milliput for my dual piece. I even might have spent more time sculpting than painting the piece. But in this case, it's just about making our conversion more seamless. So wherever are some gaps, I go ahead and fill them. On the dragon itself, I can be even more generous because I can pull it off as a flesh. You don't really have to worry about going overboard with it, since you can always cut it or sand it down, which is why I like using Milliput over sprue goo. Now, before I reveal to you step 2 of Warhammer-fying non-Warhammer, we still have to put something on the base. You guys might already know that I don't usually make particularly impressive bases, but in this case there is already so much going on that just a simple texture paint will do the trick. Okay, now I have to ask you a serious question. What would be Warhammer without skulls? It would be nothing, because everyone knows that more skulls and more hammers means more Warhammer. It's science. So I made sure to bury one in the texture paint, so it's nice and cozy in there. Oh, and I almost forgot, I added some blisters to make it feel especially nurgly. To summarize it all, we added multiple nurgly elements like the bell, nurglings and the wings. Then there is the skull, and to make the dragon feel especially chaos, there are these spiky horns, because the spikier and the hornier, the better. Seriously, what the fuck? So now that the dragon is converted, it's time for painting. And that also means that it's time to reveal step 2 of Warhammer-fying non-Warhammer, which is... As you'll see, this is a bit related to step 3, but yeah, painting your mini like the rest of your army is key to make it look like it belongs there. So let's say that I'll play this mini as a Beast of Nurgle. Yes, the Beast of Nurgle is now a dragon. So once I start painting, most of the colors will be in the desaturated green, brown and yellow territory. So at this point, are you like these guys? I mean, as I said at the start, this is from Cobra Mode, the sponsor of this video. Now, I had a chance to paint something else, maybe something smaller, and believe me that there were plenty of great options, but this mini really sparked my interest. So that's the one I 3D printed. Actually, I already painted some minis from Cobra Mode in the past, and that was also very fun and cute. And I absolutely love painting cute miniatures like these, because it's a nice break from painting Warhammer all the time. So if you like any of these as well, you can find their 3D printable minis on their Patreon, which will also grant you 50% off everything on their My Mini Factory store. You'll find links to both in the description. And I wanna thank Cobra Mode for sponsoring this video. I genuinely like their cute minis, so at least check them out. Whoa, who would have guessed that base coating is so much fun, right? Anyway, once I base coated most of the dragon, I start painting the gold scales. I could theoretically paint all the scales with the same color, but that would be too boring. The big stripe in the middle will be gold, as it'll add more variety. And I think that gold is still very much in Nurgle color palette. By using various browns and yellows, I was able to get this quite warm gold color. This effect is further intensified by warm orange secondary reflections. When it comes to the rest of the scales, I wanted way more desaturated result. So I used brownish green that's been highlighted all the way to Nurgling green. I know that I'm skipping a lot, but that's because I wanna show you more general principles rather than every single step. But if you wanna see more of the painting process, there will be raw unedited footage on my Patreon. Basically, what you need to know is that I copy the shape of the dragon and paint less and less with every lighter layer. If you have no clue what I mean by that, I'll talk about a really cool trick later that I pretty much used for the entirety of the dragon's body. When it comes to this little flame, it would be kinda weird to make it hot red, since most of the Nurgle stuff has blue flames. It might be a detail, but these kinda things add up. And if you make a good job of picking the right colors, it'll feel more in sync with the rest of your Warhammer minis. Now before we go to step 3 of Warhammerifying Warhammer, I still gotta paint the rest of the miniature. Because of the theme, everything is kinda muted and desaturated, but notice how I concentrate the most light around the chest and the face, because it's the center of attention. I wanted some more variety in textures, so instead of classic layering, I stippled the gradient on the wings, and I think it works quite well. As I mentioned, when it comes to the head, I made sure to make it the lightest point on the miniature. Well, maybe with the exception of the flame, but it's usually the case that you wanna make the head the center of attention, and this will certainly help. The third step of Warhammerifying non-Warhammer might be the most important one. I mean, there is nothing out of ordinary when it comes to painting some of the base elements, but it's even more important that the base feels like it belongs in your army. This can be done by painting and adding special stuff. I already added the skull, the bell, and the Nurglings in step 1, but we can go further. After painting the Nurglings and this cozy little skull, how cute. I added some moss on top of the rocks. Simply using PVA glue and these flocks will do the trick. And the point here is that if I was building a Nurgle army, I would most likely create some mossy rocks as well, to make it this sort of uniting feature. If I was Warhammerifying something else into my goblin army, I would certainly add some glowing mushrooms on the base. If it was Eldar, maybe some runes. If it was Khorne, I would add shitload of skulls and gore, etc. The point is, the more specific feature you include, the better. And remember how I said that I have an idea for this pod? I wasn't lying, because what better Nurgly feature to include than slime? After painting it for a bit, we can add an extra layer of slime on top of this liquid. The way to create a slime is very easy. Simply take some acrylic water effect, most likely Vaejo or AK Interactive, and add a tiny bit of Tamiya clear colors. This recipe is from David Soper's blog, and I will link it in the description. But this is pretty much it. A bit of green and yellow will create some wonderful slime. But you absolutely have to use Tamiya clear colors, otherwise it doesn't really work. You can even add some bubbles by using these glass microbeads I got from Amazon. That'll be in the description as well. Now keep in mind that this stuff usually shrinks, so you might have to use more layers to build a proper coat. By using these 3 steps, I turned this dragon from Cobra mode to a Nurgle slime dragon. But wait, I told you that I'll show you the trick to painting the body of the dragon, right? Well, yeah, there is this very unusual tool that'll teach you to paint pretty much any shape. The method might be quite surprising to many of you, and you'll find it here. So definitely check it out. And see you there.